G'day all, it's Colin from PC TLC and thanks for joining me. Today we're having a look at a distro called PakOS. Now, I was inspired to look at this after I seen a video from eznix. I'm pretty sure that's his name, eznix. He uploaded a couple of videos regarding PakOS. So I thought I was inspired because this person comes from Pakistan and he's trying to implement a distro or an operating system that's for that's targeted for people in the Pakistani region. So obviously this is going to help people in Pakistan to help them get online and have an operating system that's affordable for them. Now, I don't know what the situation is like in Pakistan, but I can imagine only some areas can't be too good. So let's just have a look online. Now, we're going to have a bit of an issue opening this up, I know. And this is on real hardware, by the way. So we're connected to the internet. I've updated the repos. Now, I'm not sure whether I need to update any more of the repos or not. We'll just wait for this to start up because on the live system there was a whole heap of tabs opened up on this. So that's what's happening here as well. So if I can somehow work out what I did on the live system, and it's not a good idea that you're opening all those tabs in one hit. So you might want to just maybe do something about that. Now, I'm not sure whether this is happening only on the first instance after install, because this is the first time I've actually opened it. So we'll just let that load. So when Firefox starts, show your home page. So I'm going to type in DuckDuckGo. Oh, what's it done? DuckDuckGo.com, is it? I think. Let's try that. So let's close that. Sorry about the banging of the mouse there. I'm in a bit of a small space here. All right, so I'm going. This is just advertising all the things that come with it. Your privacy, your ad blocker, and all those things. So I think that may be a bit of some sort of advertising for people that may need those particular extensions and so forth. So let's just close that. Okay, that's terribly painful, that is. So internet's working pretty well today, so that was just a bit annoying. So he might want to sort that out. Maybe advertise that in another way besides coming up in tabs in Firefox. That's taken a very, very long time to start up. So let's give that the benefit of the doubt and we'll try again. It wasn't ever that slow on the live system, so that was really strange. So what we might have to do here is go to add-ons. Well, I am recording too, so that's probably another issue because my recording and it's on the low spec laptop. So that's what could be causing a lot of these issues as well. But definitely no doubt these extensions are not going to be helping much, having so many. Let's disable that. Let's disable that. I don't know what any of these are. HTTPS everywhere. So we've got an ad blocker and we've got a uBlock origin, so we'll get rid of that. A what web of trust, just disable that at the moment. So let's disable all of those and let's close that and let's open that up again. Okay, now we're getting a little bit of speed back into Firefox there. So this is my Lenovo IdeaPad 110. So It's a modern low spec laptop, so it's not going to be super duper fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the PakOS website, which is a SourceForge website. So let's have a look what's going on here with this gentleman and his OS. PakOS is a humble attempt to make an OS primarily for Pakistani people with their peculiar problems, limitations in terms of resources available at their disposal and tastes. If this effort results in an OS which can be used by others, I will be honoured. Pakistan as a nation has very resources at its disposal. Most of the people who use computers have very old hardware available. This makes the PC owners forced to use outdated OSs like WindowsXP, which is extremely outdated and resultantly full of viruses. People are glued to Windows OS and can't think outside the box. Hence PakOS, a completely open source OS with extremely light footprint in terms of RAM and processor usage. I hope to make it work in 256 megabytes of RAM and a single core processor in real world use with visual outlook similar to Windows. Also, it has to be reasonably secure for home office and internet use. It can be achieved by these means. Let's read more. Continuous security updates, Debian stable, option to encrypt drive which unlocks at boot time, Debian installer, open source antivirus pre-install, ClamAV, ClamTK, firewall pre-installed and pre-activated, UFW, GUFW, web applications further secured using application firewall, browser pre-installed with open source plugins, still learning how to do it. So that's probably where all those plugins or extensions, I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Any and all means to improve security, all suggestions are welcome. Well, I'm not a huge knowledgeable security guy, but I might just save that for now. Put that in bookmarks toolbar. Let's just show the bookmarks toolbar. Okay, so I'm looking in the preferences there. I think that's wrong. It's got to be up here, which is right click anywhere there and bookmarks toolbar. There we go. Okay, so I would suggest that we don't have all those extensions on there to start with, because if he's aiming for low spec hardware, that's just really going to slow down people's computers. So I'm not sure what he's probably offering certain extensions there so people can have got some sort of protection and stuff on Firefox out of the box, but that's just really slowing that down. So it's probably not a good idea to have all those extensions there. It might be a better idea to sort of have them there but disabled by default, so, and some sort of welcome screen or some sort of text info on startup to make it apparent to people that these things are there and explain what they do and how they can be useful to the user. And that way the user can choose what he wants, what he or she or what that person wants to use in regards to these extensions. So that might be a better way to do that than have all those opening. Maybe he's not doing that on purpose. Maybe that's just the way it's ended up. So he's going for a Windows 10-ish sort of look here, and he's got the Windows type icon at the bottom left-hand corner for the menu. Things don't really look very crisp and sharp at the moment, because that for some reason that the Windows 10 theme that he's using is not really blending in very well. The other thing is under view, he's got show hidden by default. So Control H or just view and uncheck that. That would be better. So we don't have all the hidden files opening up on startup. That could confuse people. So also when connecting to the internet, network connections, I had to add a Wi-Fi here, create, and then I had to put in the SSID, which is the name of your Wi-Fi. It should be written probably on the bottom of the modem, which is the SSID, and type that in as it's written on the bottom of the modem. Otherwise, if you've got another computer already connected, you can check the status of that. It might tell you as well. And then the other thing is you have to click this device here. If you don't do that, it will not connect. I had trouble connecting and that wasn't up on there. So, and then once you do that and you put in your security, whether it's WPA or whatever, once you select that and put in your password for your modem, then once you have that going, then you will connect. Okay, so after a shutdown and restarting, I've got back to the situation where the internet hasn't remembered what the settings were. So now I went through the settings earlier, and let's have a look here. Network connections. So I explained how I added the network and so forth. So once you've done all that, you'll get to this. Now once you click on that, you have to, it'll be WLAN 0, but this is the one I created in the network settings. So that's the one you need to choose. So let's have a look at network connection. So when you create a network, let's edit the Wi-Fi one and have a look. And then when you select the device, it'll come up with this name here, WLP2SO. So that's the name of it. So once you've set up the connection, then it still won't be enabled like it is here. So then you come, once you click on that, you get to that and you click on this down arrow and choose that. And then you're connected to the internet. So that's how that works, but it doesn't seem to be remembering that at all. I'm pretty sure I checked off, maybe I didn't. Let's have a look. Network connection Wi-Fi, edit that. Let's have a quick look. General, automatically connect to this network when it is available. All users may connect. So it's not remembering that, so that's all right. It's a simple thing. So if we go to Synaptic Package Manager, and I went to settings and repositories. Now I had to do an offline install because I couldn't connect to the internet at all. Debian was having issues with that. Now he's got a Vivaldi repo in here. And then I selected the, I had this one here, and then I selected this one and this one. I don't know whether that makes any difference. Let's have a look at Etsy. Let's have a look at the sources.list and see what he's got going there. So if you have a look at some of these boxes are sort of missing down the bottom here, and the theme is not working really too well for this one, but obviously he's working on that. So Etsy apt sources.list. So we've got in there, what do we do? Alt and, yeah, oh no. Oh, that moves it. Okay. So we've only got this one main contrib non-free stretch main. Now there's a couple of uncommented ones. The security. So I would have thought that maybe need to be turned on. I'm not really sure about that. I'm pretty sure it is in normal Debian. Stretch updates main contrib, so I might uncomment that as well. So that's, I'm actually not in as root, am I? No, don't save changes. PCMan FM, does it have open as root? We don't even have open in root terminal, do we? All right. System tools. Now I've got sudo. I've added myself to the sudo list. So sudo nano etc apt sources.list. And let's uncomment the security one there. Control O, enter, and then Control X to get out of there, and let's do an update. Now I didn't find simple screen recorder in software, but it did install straight from the repos in terminal. So I thought that was a bit odd, but yeah, some things aren't always in the software center, I suppose. Now we have welcome to software. And if we do a search for simple screen recorder, it may be there now because it's installed. There it is there, but installed, yep. But when I did a search for it before, maybe I didn't update it. I'm not quite sure what was going on there. So this box here looks pretty good, but that's the GNOME software. But this one, the lines look a little bit faded here as well. So now I'm just wondering whether PakOS maybe should be using LXQT, because LXDE is sort of going away in the near future. Probably take a while, take a long time, I think, a few years before it's completely gone, if it's completely gone at all. But maybe that would be something he might want to consider as well. Because also LXQT has a searchable menu, which is what people would be used to in Windows. So that would be another thing. Although if they're using Windows 7, they would probably be used to just using a menu like this. So that's probably not so bad. So what else have we got in preferences here? Screensaver, additional drivers I don't need to use. HP lip for your HP printers. So services, configure which services will be run when the system starts. Software and updates. Synaptic Package Manager. Time and date, users and groups. It's got calculator in here. KeyPass, LeafPad, Redshift. Screenshots. It's got crossover. Don't know if that's actually, must be a trial version, I would say. Never used it. And he's got GIMP, ImageMagick, Simple Scan. So Firefox Extended Support Release. Google Earth. Thunderbird is a good choice. Transmission. And UGET. So let's have a look at Thunderbird, see what let's have a look and see what version that's up to. I think it's on stretch, so that'll probably be Thunderbird What was the last one? 52 or something, was it? Before 60, I think. Can't remember actually. Let's have a look. Help and about Mozilla Thunderbird. 60.5, so it's up to date. That's pretty good. All right. 32-bit. Okay. So he's got a nice big thick menu, transparent panel down the bottom here, which looks quite nice. It's got the date there, volume, and also volume you've got in the sound and video, pulse audio volume control, rhythm box, VLC media player, and WPS Office. So if he's using open source, I don't know why he's used WPS. I think it would be better to go with LibreOffice is more open source than WPS. I'm not sure because you need to agree to these things, but it probably doesn't matter. Maybe it's more familiar to Windows. That's probably why. I can understand that. So yeah, that would be a good reason. And he's got these two things here, CPU usage and RAM usage. What have we got? 329 megabytes of RAM being used while I'm recording, and I've had Firefox up. Let's put it up again and see what it goes up to. Only 400 and 500 and 76, 600. 658, 664, almost, yep, up to 700. And recording, that's pretty good. That's not bad. So that's quite good indeed considering I'm recording. And then you got the Iconify all windows. So if you open a few things up, and I can put my simple screen recorder and that there and have a few things around the screen and so forth, we can iconify all that and go back to the desktop. It's got a percentage here for the charging, I think it is. Battery, yep. Battery monitor. So I think he just needs to have a bit of a think about the theme that he wants to put in, because that theme doesn't seem to be working too well. It's very white. Needs a bit of shadow there as well, I would think. Very hard to make out where things are when they're crossing over. You can hardly see that box, especially when it's up there. Oh, there's a bit of a line there. Sometimes it does blend in quite a fair bit. And we have also accessories, no preferences, open box configuration manager, which is where all the themes are. So he's got Windows 10 Master, which I've used on quite a few occasions, and he's got the Dark Master as well. That just gives a dark heading, does it? Yeah, okay. Well, that's a little bit better. Yeah, and that I was using these ones, I think in Cinnamon and all that, and I had to change, I had to go to the theme and actually change these because they're not very outstanding. See how they're both the same color? One should be more outstanding than the other when it's on top. And that Dark Master has an issue with that because I experienced this same issue in Cinnamon, I think it was, and maybe even XFCE, and yeah, that should be a lot lighter than the back one. So they've both got the same theme. The one that's at the forefront and the background both got the same. One should be different than the other. One should be more outstanding. So yeah, that's a slight issue there, and that's no fault of the gentleman who's making this. I do know that theme is a problem. Has been for quite a while. So we've got the Synaptic Package Manager as well. So I'm not quite sure what those stars mean in Synaptic. Does that mean there's an update or something? Mark all upgrades. Nothing to upgrade anyway, otherwise the apply button would be on. So that's all right. So overall, I can see where he's going with this, and he wants it to sort of have a bit of a, he wants it to be lightweight, but he wants it to have a familiarity of Windows, maybe Windows 10 by the looks of that icon and by the looks of the themes he's got going as well. He wants to sort of resemble Windows 10, so people are familiar with it. Fair enough. I think he's, this here is looking quite familiar. He's got, I didn't actually look at the icons he's got going there. Let me check that out quickly. Open box configuration. I think they're the normal Windows 10 icons. Appearance. Alright, so icons, how do we change those? So let's have a look at the hidden files and see if he's got any themes in here. No, they'll be in user share themes. Windows 10 master. No, user, what am I looking at? User share icons, sorry. Windows 10 icons master, okay, so he's using those as well. Got the default applications for LX session. Launching applications and core applications. Auto start and settings. You've also got under preferences, desktop preferences, appearance, which is the wallpaper, background color, desktop icons, advanced, and users and groups. So you've got some managed groups there, advanced settings as well. So I'm not overly familiar with LXDE because I haven't really run it that much. I've run it before just trying it, but I don't know if I'm missing something, but I can't find where to change the icons. Where is that in LXDE? It's thrown me a little bit. Am I missing something here? Still a new theme, so they're all the themes anyway. Appearance. I cannot find an icons manager anywhere. That's a really strange one. So the one thing that eznix was saying that there's no auto mount in here, so I'll just unplug my mouse for a second. I'll put in one of my USB sticks with some files and stuff on it and see what happens there. Probably won't open up. I actually did. Oh, well, I thought there was a problem with that auto mounting, but we're on real hardware, so maybe that's why. But I'm sure eznix was on real hardware as well. So, oh, there you go. So it's actually mounted. That was surprising. I didn't expect that to happen. Anyone know how to get how to change icons? Didn't think I would come across a distro that threw me off on how to change icons. Oh, that's really weird. But anyway, archive manager, calculator, key pass, leaf pad, redshift, screenshot. I'm just looking through everything here. Internet won't be under there. So you've got document viewer, fax address book, HP lib fax utility, and the WP office. Sound and video, system tools, GDebi package installer, root terminal, task manager, manage processes, and so you got office in here and you got a WP office here. So you got two offices there. So I'll have to think that maybe that wasn't meant to be the case. Where do you change the icons in LXDE? Oh, that's really weird. Am I having a moment? Interesting. Anyway, we won't get bogged down on that. So I hope this gentleman gets somewhere with this OS. It sounds like he's trying to do something really good for the community of Pakistan. I hope this video somehow gives him some sort of exposure and helps him out, because there might be somebody out there that can help him with some of these things that he's trying to achieve. And it's not looking too bad so far. It's looking pretty good. Just got to sort out that Firefox startup. That's a bit of an issue. And a couple of issues on startup with the hidden files and all that. And also I'm not sure about the repos, where there's meant to be the security repos installed in there as well, which I've enabled anyway. Now, one thing I did fail to mention is the installer is a straight out installer, Debian installer. So I believe that if he's going to get this up and running for the masses, so to speak, then you would probably want a more basic installer. So you probably really need to try and get an installer that's a lot more user-friendly, like the Calamares installer or Ubiquity installer for your Ubuntu. I can't remember which one PureOS was running, but that's based on Debian, and that has a really easy installer. So yeah, that's probably something he might want to look at as well. So it just makes it that little bit easier to install. So that's PakOS. Good luck with the gentleman. Hopefully he gets somewhere with this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it interesting and informative, and thank you for watching.